News.
Good evening, this is Amit Thackeray, and let's begin with the top stories of this hour. Leaders of both the ruling and opposition bodies stress on forcing national consensus to sort out the disputed issues. Social networks busy with updates on the earthquake. YouTube gets new images, more than a dozen earthquake apps in use. Indian Prime Minister welcomed by his Bangladeshi counterpart upon his arrival, two countries to sign a historic agreement to exchange borderlands. And Italian clubs Juventus and Spanish giant Barcelona to lock horns in the Champions League final tonight. Leaders of both the ruling and the opposition parties have stressed on forcing national consensus to sort out the disputed issues of constitution writing. At the meeting held between the government and the 30-party alliance in Balwata today, the leaders said agreement on constitution's disputed issues must go through political consensus. During the meeting, the opposition leaders claimed that the issue of federalism was a political one. They said that it must be sorted out through consensus rather than resolving it through a separate commission. Although the parties did not reach any breakthrough in the meeting, the opposition alliance took the past discussions between the four parties on a positive note. At the meeting, the alliance leaders also gave their views and suggestions on federalism. While Nepali Congress and UML are in favor of handing over the task of naming and demarcating federal states to a separate commission, the opposition wants consensus to be forced on the number and demarcation. It has been 1 month since the parties have been debating the formation of a national consensus government. According to them, such a government would assess the damage caused by the earthquake and lead the reconstruction phase. The parties have been holding talks to resolve the disputed issues, but they have failed to produce anything concrete so far. The leaders of the major parties have been saying that they will promulgate the constitution within 1 month by adopting a fast-track procedure. But the leaders are still debating federalism. Recently, they have been discussing the number of federal states, their name, and demarcation. The parties have agreed to promulgate the constitution and spearhead reconstruction efforts. However, sorting out the disputed issues and balancing the power equation remains a challenging task. The first Constituent Assembly had to be dissolved due to contention over federalism. Dispute over federalism also led to the failure to draft the constitution by 22nd of January. In the last 10 days, the major parties have held more than 6 meetings and other intra-party discussions to seek a package consensus. However, they have failed to strike a chord on federalism and electoral system. This has further deferred the task of constitution writing and formation of consensus government and added to the growing political uncertainty. Nepali Congress parliamentarian Gagan Thapa has introduced a program that will provide information on the conditions of the quake-affected houses in Kathmandu electoral constituency number 4. Gagan Thapa, who won the Kathmandu election from the constituency, has said that he will send engineers to check the condition of the houses in the area. Thapa said that he will issue an advisory providing information on whether a particular house with minor cracks is safe to live in or not, and how it should be reconstructed. He added that he has taken up this initiative because the general public is not aware of such information. Thapa said that engineers trained on the technicalities of the earthquakes from the National Society will be sent to inspect each and every house in the area for the next 2 months. Similarly, Thapa has also started an initiative in Kathmandu Municipality Wards 7 and 8 to provide information on how to reconstruct earthquake-resistant houses. The volunteers who have returned to the capital after lending the support to the earthquake victims have said that there should be a unified approach for reconstruction. Organizing a gathering in the capital this afternoon, the volunteers who have returned from different quake-affected districts said that the reconstruction works couldn't have been performed effectively. Meanwhile, the volunteers reiterated that the country's youth should lend their support to the victims in a cohesive and altruistic manner. While sharing their experience during the relief delivery, The volunteers added that some of them participated in rescue and relief operations at their own expenses. The youth volunteers also pledged to jointly help in the reconstruction program. Many volunteers had spontaneously reached the affected districts to lend their support soon after the earthquake struck. Today we had asked the volunteers who had been to different quake-affected districts to lend their support to the victims about their experience of working during the time of crisis. Before we go for a short break, let's take
हेल्थ क्याम्प गरिसकेपछि हामीले पछि गएर अनि हेल्थ क्याम्प सँगै हामीले रिलिफ मेटेरियल पनि हामी डिस्ट्रिब्युसन गर्यौं
बिरामीहरुलाई डाक्टरसँग लगिदिने डाक्टरहरुलाई दबाई ल्याइदिने बिरामीहरुलाई कुरुवा बस्दिने र बेलुकाको समयमा बिरामीहरुलाई खाना सप्लाई गर्ने
भत्केको ढुङ्गाहरु हामीले निकाल्यौं त्यसपछिबाट त्यो निस्किसकेको ढुङ्गाहरुलाई एक ठाउँमा राखेर फेरि घरको लागि टेन्टहरु लिएर गयौं त्यसपछिबाट खाद्यान्न लिएर गयौं
हामी एउटा साथीहरु सबजना भेट्यौं अनि we came up with a conclusion that let's help people
औषधिहरु पुगिरा छैन भने खबर आउँथ्यो अनि त्यो पुर्याउने कामहरु पानी पुर्याउने कामहरु पिउस पुर्याउने कामहरु विभिन्न कुराहरु चाहिँ हामीले गर्यौं
जहाँ मेडिकल टिम चाहिएको थियो हामी त्यहाँ गए हैन तिनीहरुको घाउपत्तेको त्यो औषधि लगाए
स्पेशल राहत बाँड्दाखेरि चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ सिस्टमिक त्यो एडमिनिस्ट्रेसन तिर चाहिँ मैले काम गरे
फोटो हेरेन मलाई एकदमै उ लाग्यो त्यसपछि मैले चाहिँ एउटा फन्ड रेजिङ वेबसाइटबाट fundly.com बाट चाहिँ पैसा इकट्ठा गर्न थाले अनि आफ्नो फलोअर्सहरुबाट चाहिँ मैले फन्ड रेज गरे त्यसपछि अलिकति पैसा इकट्ठा भयो त्यसपछि मैले आफ्नो इन्डियामा भएको साथीहरुबाट चाहिँ सामानहरु ब्ल्याङ्केटहरु टेन्टहरु चाहिँ इकट्ठा गरे
चिल्ड्रेनहरुलाई फोकस गरेर उनीहरुलाई सर्वोत्तम पिठो अनि त्यसपछि ब्रेडहरु बच्चालाई फोकस गरेर त्यहाँ राखिदियौं.
Welcome back. After the break, the import of goods from the Chinese border point in Tatapani has been obstructed. Although some containers that were stranded on the Nepal side of the border were brought to Kathmandu, there are over 300 that are stocked on the Chinese side. The Chinese side has barred the containers from entering Nepal, which has led to a loss of millions of rupees to the Nepali businesses. The Chinese side has refused to let the vehicles pass, citing security reasons. The businesses had complained that the Nepal government hasn't made an effort to bring the containers. The custom officers for their part say that discussions are on with the Chinese officials regarding bringing the goods trucks in. China has said the friendship bridge isn't strong and that they would only send the rest of the containers only the bridge is repaired. The roads have been obstructed since the April 25th earthquake. Talks are also on at the high level. The Finance Department has forwarded a file with the details to the Foreign Ministry. As life is slowly crawling back to normalcy, earthquake is still the main topic of discussion in various social websites. Videos on earthquake are still being uploaded in the social website YouTube, which has more than 1 million viewers. Over a dozen new apps related to the earthquake were created. Mobile video from Sindhupalchuk's Dalbire shows the mental and physical state of the people when this massive quake occurred. CCTV footages from places like Tripuresor to Rikhail in Kathmandu also show the disastrous effects of the quake on people. As soon as people came to terms with the earthquake, there was a rise in the number of videos being uploaded on YouTube. Various CCTV footages and mobile videos are available on YouTube. Some videos have been viewed more than 4 million times. Media from across the globe came to Nepal to cover the recent earthquakes. After the earthquake, social media sites were flooded with posts and videos of people helping with the relief distribution. Various apps were created where Android users were able to share information on earthquakes. Over a dozen new apps related to the earthquake were also created. People who did not experience the earthquake firsthand also had information about the earthquake due to the various social media sites. These social media websites were a great help because the information provided by these sites helped some far-flung districts get relief materials. With mercury rising by the day, people in Kathmandu Valley are resorting to swimming to beat the heat. Majority of swimming pools in the capital are brimming with people these days. Swimming is a perfect recreational activity to get some respite from the summer heat. It is perhaps why an increasing number of people, mostly children and youth, are thronging swimming pools. Even families visit the swimming pools during weekends to get together or just have fun. According to the swimming pool operators in Bhaktapur's saga, around 3,000 to 4,000 customers these days come for swimming on a daily basis. Operators at Banesor Spa say they received more visitors this year compared to last year, as majority of schools remain closed after the earthquake. The swimming pool, operated by the National Sports Council in Lalitpur too, has experienced a swell in the number of swimming enthusiasts. The months of May, June and July is considered swimming season in Nepal. There are currently more than 50 swimming pools inside Kathmandu Valley. Swimming pool businesses have invested more than 1 billion rupees in their infrastructure. Operators claim they profit double that amount during season. To bring life back to normalcy after the recent earthquake, security personnel are also doing their part. Various artists from Nepal Police music schools have risked the worst affected districts to help the victims. Under the leadership of Police Superintendent Rajendra Gurung, various artists from Nepal Police music schools went to various places in Kathmandu Valley and also far-flung districts like Dolakha, Sindhupalchok, Kabri, among others, to provide music therapy to the quake-affected victims. Government employees, school students and local residents have also participated in the music therapy program. Police music schools said that after the massive quakes of April 25th and May 12th and the various aftershocks that followed, normal life was affected. They said they started music therapy to bring back life back to normalcy. Local residents have said that music therapy has played a positive role in giving them mental and physical well-being. Local artists, along with artists from the police academy, have contributed in providing humor to the victims of the earthquake. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was welcomed by his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina upon his arrival in Bangladesh today. Modi is on a 2-day visit to the nation to cement bilateral ties and strengthen trust and cooperation between the two countries. Bangladesh and India are to sign a historic agreement to simplify the border by exchanging more than 150 enclaves of land. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will ratify the deal with his counterpart Sheikh Hasina in Dhaka. Thousands of Bangladeshis inhabit more than 50 enclaves in India, while Indians live in around 100 areas within Bangladesh. The countries will now swap territories and residents can choose where to live. Bangladesh Foreign Minister Abul Hassan Mahmood Ali described the agreement as a historic milestone in the relationship between the two neighboring countries. His delegation also includes Chief Minister of East and West Bengal State Mamata Banerjee. Hasina and Banerjee is also expected to flag off 2 bus services between the countries. Bangladesh and India will also seal an agreement simplifying their 4,000-kilometer border. The two countries will also sign a number of deals to boost trade and security along the border and fight human trafficking. Officials would also discuss a possible increase in Indian aid for Dhaka and in Bangladeshi electricity imports from India. 11 people have died and 8 others are missing after an earthquake near Malaysia's highest peak. The bodies were recovered from Mount Kinabalu on the island of Borneo after a 6-magnitude quake triggered landslides. Some 137 climbers were stranded on the mountain for several hours, but have now made it to safety. Local media say a Singaporean girl and a local guide are among the dead. Authorities confirmed that 11 bodies have been found and rescue teams were searching for 8 people still unaccounted for. And time now for another short break. Even though the fruit prices in the wholesale market have gone down, consumers are being forced to pay higher rates. While fruit businesses claim that the supply has been normal, consumers are being forced to pay 120% more than the normal prices. While we went to investigate the prices of fruits in the retail market, apples were being sold for between 250 to 300 rupees per kilogram. Prior to the earthquake, the prices of apples was between 90 to 200 rupees. Similarly, mangoes were being sold for between 120 to 140 rupees per kilo, grapes for 220 rupees, and sweet lime between 130 rupees to 150 rupees. The prices of fruits like apples, bananas, grapes and sweet lime have increased by 25 to 50% in the retail market in previous months, but they have decreased by 40% in the wholesale market. Wholesalers have said that the decrease in demand for fruits had actually led to a drop in the prices. But unlike what wholesalers claim, the fruits are being sold at higher prices in majority of retail outlets in the valley. Fruits worth 5 to 6 million rupees are sold inside Kathmandu alone on a daily basis. Lack of monitoring and sales of fruits and vegetables has led to such irregularities in the market from time to time. And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you SMS us with your opinion.
Janamot brought to you by Morgan International College, Vasundhara, Kathmandu, Edmark Academy, Kalanki, Kathmandu.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's polls. Yesterday we had asked you, why is waste management seen as a problem in our cities? 23% voted for irresponsibility, 33% voted for management lapses, and 44% voted for political gains. And now today's question, why has the price of fruits gone up? And options are A, dealers at foul play, B, dependency on import, and C, lack of monitoring. The voting is on. Type NEWF, select your option A, B or C and send it to 8080 and do share your opinion with us. Nepal Electricity Authority said that they will provide electricity meters free of cost to the houses which were damaged by the recent earthquakes. The district administration offices of the worst affected districts have said that they have not received any information on it as of yet. Nepal Electricity Authority said that they would provide electricity to 100,000 houses and provide electricity meters free of cost. The authority said that they require a lot of electricity meters all at once. 10,000 meters, which were ordered from China before the earthquake, were expected to arrive soon. The central office said that they would provide electricity meters free of cost if people show evidence that the house has been damaged. But the district administrative office in the affected district have said that they have not received the order to provide free electricity meters to the affected houses. There is confusion over how electricity will be provided. Some consumers have said that they have started using electricity without meters after the advice of employees of the electricity board. And time now for sport update.
Sport.
Political leaders and artists played a friendly football match today to raise funds for the earthquake victims. The audience who had arrived to watch the match at the Hulso ground were pretty upbeat. 75-year-old Prime Minister Sushil Koirala was among the players in the team of politicians. The team of artists appeared more energetic than the politicians, and Koirala put up a good show. People cheered at his performance. Forum Loktantrik President Vijay Kumar Kachidar fell as he tried to take charge. Unified Maoist Chief Puspakamal Dahal also failed at a similar attempt. Throughout the match, the leaders kept falling. UML Chairman K.P. Sarmawali and Unified Maoist leader Puspakamal Dahal had to bow out of the match within 5 minutes. Prime Minister Koirala, however, played for 25 minutes. He was requested by his teammates to quit the match, but he stuck on. People cheered as he walked out of the match. He later told the press that if everyone plays together, the country would make good progress. Captain of the artist football team, Madan Krishna Shrestha, said success was together if people worked as a team. Former footballer Hari Khadka, who had trained the politicians, said that football was all about team spirit. Both the squads had 55 players each. There were up to 14 players in the team at a time. The younger leaders seemed more active than the old ones. The artists won the match by 3-0. The match was organized by Naya Patrika, Delhi. Italian club Juventus and Spanish giants Barcelona will be locking horns for the Champions League final tonight. It is the fifth Champions League final between the two sides. The match will kick off at 12:30 a.m. Nepal time. Barcelona are on the quest for a treble this season, having won a La Liga and the Kings Cup before this. The last time they won 3 titles, including the Champions League, was in 2009 under Pep Guardiola. Coach Luis Enrique is looking forward to repeat history this time around. The Italian side Juventus is also on a lookout for their third title this season after winning the Italian Cup and Serie A. The four-time champions Barcelona have not been able to win the title since 2010 and 2011 season. Two-time champions Juventus have not won the title since 1996. Earlier in the group stage, Juventus have suffered 2 defeats, while the informed Barca have lost only 1 match so far. Juventus reliable defender Giorgio Chiellini will be missing in action tonight due to an injury. He will be replaced by Andrea Bazzarli. Meanwhile, Luis Suarez will be returning to the field after recovering from injury. Along with Messi and Neymar, Suarez's comeback will complete the attacking trident against Juventus. Barcelona and Juventus are facing each other for the first time since 2003. In the earlier 2 standoffs, Juventus had won 1 match while the others ended in a tie. And before we wrap up, a reminder of the top stories. Leaders of both the ruling and the opposition parties stress on forcing national consensus to sort out the disputed issues. Social networks busy with updates on the earthquake. YouTube gets new emails, more than a dozen earthquake apps in use. Indian Prime Minister welcomed by Bangladeshi counterpart upon his arrival, 2 countries to sign a historic agreement to exchange borderland. And Italian club Juventus and Spanish giants Barcelona to lock horns in the Champions League final tonight. And that's all for this hour. Up next.